Hey guys, just doing my third part of like common traits between this guy's past victims and I. And I was just ending it off where I was just talking about when this guy retreated back for like 2 years and for some reason thought I was going to forget that he was around or forget that if a random account reaches out that I won't think it's him or if a hacked account reaches out, I won't think it's him. And I was just trying to really emphasize that, like, this guy stole my old Google account, from a person that was a lot younger, more immature, more uneducated, less evolved, into different things, thought differently, had a different perception of the world. And I was just trying to go into that, like, the way he treats me, like, the way he tries to bait me out, and the way he like just the things that he says from certain accounts or the things that he has said from certain accounts and the way he's tried to bait me. It's like he's trying to bait a really stupid, naive person that easily falls for traps. And maybe my younger self did. Like, yeah, probably, back 6 years ago. Yeah, fucking rights. Look where this landed me. If I didn't look into this, I probably could have saved half of the mess that this was in. But to be honest with you, I'm actually really glad it all came out because, I can learn about it and I can educate and I can help people, especially the past victims. And I mean it when I say this. This thing has turned into a blessing. So many people say it as like, oh, I'm so sorry and it sucks and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, it does suck in a way, but the only thing that helps me really like kind of ground myself, I guess, especially in the beginning when I did find out about this, was that he stalked everybody. It wasn't just me that was targeted. It's not just my pictures and information that he's skimming through and that he's looking through. It's everybody's. And it some weird way, it does make me feel a little better as opposed to just him just targeting just my accounts and my accounts alone. But, I am turning it into something really good. And, like, I can help a lot of people, inform a lot of people. There's a lot of things that people don't think about that I didn't even think about, like I said. And it just keeps getting better and better. The more people that I talk to and just the type of person that I am, just the things that I went through, just the type of person that I am, I guess my energy sensing and all that, it all helps with what I'm doing and why I'm on this page in the first place. But going back, I'm not trying to, insult any of the women that this guy used to see. But, these guys purposely pick women who are naive, who are, less educated on, like, not educated book-wise. I mean, less educated on, like, how to protect themselves, about security, about red flags, about toxic people, these types of predators, narcissistic men. I mean, uneducated in that sense. And that's why they typically go for younger people, people who just don't know as much, who are ignorant. And when I say ignorant, I don't mean it in a bad, derogatory way at all. Ignorant just means that you're just unaware of something. You don't know about something. You don't know enough that will benefit you. And people throw around the term ignorant as like such an insult. Yeah, it can be used as an insult. I have used it as an insult. But when I say it, referring it especially to his past victims or other people, I don't mean it in a mean way whatsoever. Because I was very ignorant on this stuff. And you think you know enough. You think you watch TikToks, you watch the news, you read about stuff, and you really do think you know enough, but there's a lot of stuff that people don't really know, and especially with my stalking case, it's very rare. I can't find similar ones in the Western world about it, and a lot of the stuff I have to research individually and, I had to figure out on my own, and then, present the information and tell people about it. But yeah, I think this guy, maybe his past victims, they did fall easily for traps. Maybe they were women that, they didn't get a whole lot of attention and they did thrive on male validation or, male attention or, maybe they slept around a lot. I don't know. And I'm not saying like his past victims. I'm talking about all women that this guy has, seen in his whole life. There could be a specific group of women that he goes after that all display the same types of characteristics or the same traits. So when he's trying to bait me out or bait out his past victims or any other woman to, for that matter, he's probably just trying to bait them out in a way where, he thinks they're stupid. And like, that's why it's not working on my end. That's why it's not, it hasn't worked on Facebook. That's why it hasn't worked on TikTok. Just like the things that he does to bait me out, especially in the lives and other places, even on the Meetup app. And, I know he's all over that, he's trying to make groups, and it's really pathetic because it's a webcam thing, and, you can't dupe ratings or anything like that. It's not a bot platform, they have real people that are managing it or whatever. I can't even think of the word. Like Facebook, it's just all bots. Like when you go for help, it's just computers helping you or whatever. It's not real people. Well, the Meetup app isn't that. So, I mean, like if you're making meetup groups and you keep bailing because you can't go on camera because you're a creep, and you're just making fake groups trying to build up a credit and stuff, because I know that's what he's trying to do. He's hoping I go to one of these dumb groups he makes. Like if somebody makes a bad rating, like you can't hide it. You can't dupe it, and I think the only way out of that is you probably have to delete the whole damn group, to be honest with you. But those are the things that I noticed, and that's why I initially went on that group in the first place. It wasn't really just to meet people. It was to learn a lot about, like, mental health, and like I'm into astrology and learning about like a lot of stuff just to do with mental health and the stuff that I've been through. But there's also the other side of it is learning the tech side, learning about narcissists, predators, just learning, like having hard conversations and learning about hard topics, because I have kids and I just want to be able to help them and help other people. So that's that about, like what type of people this guy goes after, and his last victim, Kayla LaRock. But I'll go to his other one. She has a mutual friend, and it's kind of weird because I've seen this girl kind of grow up. I just remember her faces. I always remember faces very well, but this mutual friend and her would have pictures, posted to Facebook, and, because I was a mutual friend, I would see these photos all the time. And from what I know, she's a popular, pretty girl. And I actually seen her displayed. This is how, when I first learned about her being this guy's victim, she was displayed on the back pages. And when I knew this guy was stalking me and had some of my photos, and, I wasn't sure if he was into my accounts, because that's when I seen like some stuff happening on my phone, like way back then, and I wasn't sure if it was him. And I remember I was talking to my ex and asking him if, like, there's a ways to extract photos, if people can spy on your stuff. And he said, yeah, but it's like, it's pretty hard, but it is possible. That's when I was like, oh my God. So, I started going around because I knew this guy was catfishing men and women using people's accounts and pictures. Well, just people's pictures mainly. I didn't know about accounts. I knew he was stealing people's pictures for sure. So I went to the back pages because I was like, but I hope to fuck he doesn't have me posted somewhere on there or on some dating platform. And I come across this chick. And like I said, I wasn't looking for her or for anyone else. I was just skimming around. I called it my pre-investigations, because after he banned me from those platforms, that's when I was just like, okay, like, what is this guy up to? Like, what is he gonna do next? I had zero idea on what he was gonna do. But I came across this chick. And, I was very steered towards her profile. I don't know what it was. It was my sixth sense. They were dampened at the time, but I was steered towards this. And, and I clicked on it and I looked at it. And the bio of this chick was so disgusting, disrespectful, and derogatory. Some of the sickest shit I've ever read in my life about this girl. And you can tell she didn't write it for herself. Whoever wrote it for her was trying to attract the wrong type of man and trying to make her look really disgusting. And also really easy and a really easy target. You can tell she didn't write that about herself. Any type of woman, I don't care what type of woman they are, if they love themselves, if they hate themselves, they would never write that type of shit about themselves. And that's what stood out, and I'll get to part 3 on this whole thing.